to this week's Believe Groups video. During this session, we will be jumping into the topic of hope. Our key idea for today is, how do I deal with the hardships and the struggles of life? I believe everyone could answer that with the word hope. Yet where we place our hope will determine the strength of that hope. And just as we use the word love in a whole spectrum of meaning, from I love pizza to I love my kids, hope is used in the same way. I hope the Rockies win the game. I hope I get this job. And people can place their hope in many different places. Some put their hope in money. How secure are my finances? Do I have plenty in my retirement? If the numbers are high, my hope is secure. But if I lose it all, I lose all my hope. Some place their hope in human government. If we can just get the right person or the right party into office, all the problems of our society and economy will be solved. And then there's others who place their hope in another person. That person is my hope and my anchor. If I lose them, I lose everything, and all hope is lost. Yet the Christian hope is not anything of this world, which leads us to our key idea. I can cope with the hardships of life because of the hope I have in Jesus Christ. The hope offered to us is powerful and steadfast because of who is offering it. Because God is completely trustworthy, we can believe his promises and in turn have a hope that is sure. I love what N.T. Wright says in his book, Surprised by Hope. There he writes, hope for the Christian, it's not wishful thinking or mere blind optimism. It is a mode of knowing, a mode within which new things are possible. Options are not shut down. New creation can happen. So we have two causes of our hope. The first is believing in the promise. The second is believing in the one making the promise. When a man and a woman, they stand in front of their friends and family and they share vows with one another, promising to be faithful till death do us part. Those vows have power and meaning because you trust the person who is standing there promising them to you. A promise is only as sure as the one making the promise. What is the promise we as believers have? 1 Corinthians 1:51 tells us, we will not die, but we will all be transformed. It will happen in a moment, in a blink of an eye, when the last trumpet is blown. For when the trumpet sounds, those who have died will be raised to live forever, and we who are living will also be transformed. For our dying bodies must be transformed into bodies that will never die. Our mortal bodies must be transformed into immortal bodies. Then, when our dying bodies have been transformed into bodies that will never die, this scripture will be fulfilled. Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is your victory? O death, where is your sting? We are assured that our inheritance is that of a new heaven and a new earth, where all death, decay, and sin are vanquished, and heaven and earth are united. We are not promised an eternal, disembodied reality somewhere far away from the earth. We are promised real, restored bodies on a real and restored earth. How can we trust this promise? We can trust this promise because of the one who promised it. Jesus not only gave us this promise, he showed us by the power of his own resurrection that he can and will keep his promise to us. This allows us to hold firm in this life where we are guaranteed trials and grief. It becomes an anchor, as it's shared with us in our key verse, Hebrews 6:19 through 20. It says, we have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. It enters the inner sanctuary behind the curtain where our forerunner Jesus has entered on our behalf. So as you get ready to discuss with your group, consider these key applications on how we can increase our hope. The first key application is, if you want to increase your hope, get to know and trust Jesus better. The second, if you want to increase your hope, get to know and trust Jesus' promises. It takes intentional time with Jesus and his word. So I hope this was a great kickoff to a great discussion. We'll see you later.